Hey everyone, it's Erin. Today I'm going to be doing the Ask the Admin video. I've been meaning to do this all week. I'm really sorry. I've been really busy, but now is better than ever. I have been a huge fan of the show since it started when I was in 5th grade, and now I'm a sophomore in high school, so it's really weird because I've basically grown up with the show. I've been an admin of the group since early May, and a fan of the group since 5 or 6 thousand members, so it's great to see how much the page has progressed. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be a part of that. That's why it was so amazing to see how many questions I got. So I'm going to try and go through as many as possible. And I combined a lot of questions because a lot of them were similar. Just a little disclaimer before I start. These are all my opinions. I know nothing more than anyone else does. None of the admins and I are in production or anything like that, so we don't know anything that goes on. The only thing we're affiliated with Pretty Liars is being fans. Okay. First question: who is your favorite character? My favorite character is Spencer because I feel like I can relate to her the most. She is a perfectionist just like me. She's very curious and detective kind of person. And she also has a preppy dressing style, which I also have. My favorite guy character is Caleb because I think he's just the most perfect person. What are your expectations for the finale? I'm hoping that we are finally going to get not only answers, but good ones. They've been dangling the carrot of who A is for almost 3 years now, and I want a really good reveal. I think all of the fans deserve that. I don't want a reveal that has tons of holes and someone could have thought of in 5 minutes. I also want a good reason. I don't want them to play the mental illness card again like they did with Mona because it's already been done before. I'm expecting them to catch A at the end of the next episode, and then the finale will be similar to season 4 where Allie tells all. This time they're forcing Charles or his accomplice to tell all. I think that's the only way that they'll be able to cram a lot of good answers in 40 minutes. Next question. What does the Halloween episode signify? Do you think there's twins? I think it was supposed to be just a fun supernatural episode. I don't think that the ghost is significant. As for the twins, I think it just foreshadowed Cece and her relationship with Allison. The two switched places before, fought, etc. I love the storyline of the twins in the book series. I read the book. However, I don't think it'll play out the same way on TV because Marlene already confirmed that Allison doesn't have a twin. If someone does have a twin on the show, I think it would either be Spencer or Mona. Who killed Jessica? I think Ken killed Jessica because Jessica was going to tell the cops about Charles, and Ken didn't want his identity revealed. Who is Charles? That's a really good question, and I will tell you my entire theory. I know everyone knows that I've been a huge Ezra is Charles person, but I don't think Ezra is Charles anymore. I think he is affiliated with Charles. I think he works with Charles, but I don't think he's Charles. I think Ren is Charles, and here's my theory. My belief is that the grave of Charles de Laurentiis is rather a metaphor. He's burying his past and is taking on the new identity as Ren. We know little about Ren's family or his past. Ren could very well be faking his British accent, and if he is really a native of Rosewood. He's also a doctor, and it takes about 8 years to get a medical license, which would make him 25, 26, which is Charles' age frame. His motive is quite simple: to attain revenge for being locked up in Radley for many years. It's similar to the book Why You Know Who It Is. I believe Charles faked his death to escape Radley and his old life. All that time in Radley, he had dreams of becoming another person, a different person. The grave is metaphorically the death of Charles de Laurentiis as he begins new life as Ren. I think Charles and Ren have many similar qualities. I think Ren has qualities that Charles always wanted. He's smart, charming, funny, and loved, all of which Charles wasn't. I think Ren dyed his hair brown, and put on a British accent. He moved to Philly and began a happy new life for himself. He cut off all ties with the De Laurentiis family and was happy about it until the day he met Melissa Hastings. Everything was fine at first in their relationship until she wanted to meet the family. Little did he know all roads lead back to Rosewood. He was soon lured back to the town he escaped. He bottled up feelings for so long, but when Mona came into Radley, he couldn't hold back. He wanted to play the game again. Sorry about my dog. Okay, next question. Is Mona on the side of the liars or Charles? That's a good question. I think Mona has been extremely shady lately, but I do think she's still on the liar side. I think she's trying to protect them in her weird Mona fashion. I think she might know a little more than she's letting on. Do you think Hannah and Caleb will get married, or Spencer and Toby after the time jump? I think Hannah and Caleb will get married if there's a wedding in the time jump. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I think Hannah and Caleb will get married if there's a wedding in the time jump. They've had the most consistent relationship, and they work really well together. I don't think Spencer and Toby will get married. I don't even know if they're going to be together, honestly, in the time jump. Yeah. They love each other, but they have like a lot of lack of trust. They are always butting heads, and after, a few episodes ago where he got caught with drugs from her, I think they're not going to work that well together. They're both type A personalities, so they clash heads a lot. I'm personally more of a Spencer Dean fan. And as for Arya and Ezra, I don't think they'll be married, but I think they might still have a chance together. They also have huge trust issues. I feel like Ezra might want to settle down in the near future, and Arya is too independent for that. What happened to Emily's dad? I think he's still in Texas. I think Emily's parents are still around, obviously, but just not on camera. All of the parents except Hannah's mom are guest stars on the show, which means they don't appear as much. What happened to Jenna? That's a good question. I think Jenna still has a really important role on the show. Maybe she's trying to sit back and watch everything play out for once because she's always been in the middle. But her reasoning for not being on the show is probably because the actress who plays Jenna recently had a baby. If Jason and Charles are 15 months apart, wouldn't Peter Hastings have known about Charles too, since their affair was going on around them? That's a really good question. There's always holes in every storyline because they didn't know Charles was A until season 3, so everything before that can obviously raise questions. The only explanation is that they didn't move to Rosewood until Charles was sent to Radley, or Peter kept it a secret. How could Charles be any of the characters we know if Charles was still in Radley up until Bethany escaped? Charles faked his death at the age of 16. Bethany disappeared when she was 17 and is 5 years younger than Charles, making him 21 during the disappearance. I think he was probably hiding out. As for the characters, I think Charles is someone we know, but just don't know much about their past. We don't know a lot about Ezra or Wren's past, where they lived, what school, etc. We don't even know if they lived in Rosewood or where they came from. What's up with Ezra? He's been so moody. Will he ever get permanently in Malcolm's life? I think Ezra has been extremely shady this season. I think he's possibly working with Charles or could be Uber A. Yeah, I do think there is an Uber A. I think it's a huge possibility. I think somewhere a producer said that Uber A and Big A were two different things. At the end of the summer, we will apparently have all the answers, and Big A will be revealed. After that, there's a whole other season 7, and there's possibility of more. So there could be another A. Also, I don't think he will be in Malcolm's life. I think he tried to get custody, but since he isn't the paternal father, he has no legal rights. How did A make Mona seem dead? They flash back on her body in the trunk so many times, eyes gray, not breathing, looking gray. How was she alive? I really did think Mona was dead when I saw that, the way it appeared, but I think A probably just drugged her. What's in the barrel that Toby and Tanner found? I think it was either an animal that A planted as a trick or one of the unfound bodies in PLL. Like Garrett, I'm pretty sure Garrett wasn't found. Who hit Allie on the head and lured Bethany to Rosewood? Okay. I think Bethany hit Allie on the head because she was jealous of Allison and was making. I think Bethany hit Allie on the head because she was jealous of Allison and was mad at her for tricking her to come to Rosewood. Yes, I do think Allie lured Bethany to Rosewood. I think Bethany was on her list of A suspects and wanted to confront her. In English this year, I read about Catcher in the Rye and I learned about unreliable narrators. Basically, the reader can't always trust the narrator because the narrator isn't trustworthy. This was the case for Holden and Catcher in the Rye, and I think this relates to Allison in Pretty Little Liars because she lies a lot, as the other four girls do. Just look at the last episode where she played housewife, but only to steal or as a speech. She can't really be trusted. I'm sorry, that probably just sounded like an English essay to you. Why is Charles torturing the liars? I think he's torturing them because they're so close to Allison, but also because they're liars. Charles' whole life was telling lies, so I think he has a grudge against liars. And let's face it, they lie a lot, even before everything happened. I also think he's really protective over Allison, so when the girls isolated Allison and put her in jail, he didn't really appreciate that. He has a love-hate relationship with Allie, and Allison loves the girls, so him targeting him makes him targeting them hurts her a lot and leaves her lonely and vulnerable, which makes it easier for him to control Allison, which makes sense because in I think the first episode she basically like sacrificed herself to Charles because she loved her best friend so much. Who is Borchardt? I think it's still Ezra from Borchardt's beer he was drinking, and all of Allie's diary entries pointing to him. As for Beach Hottie, I think maybe it was Holbrook, which could explain why Allie was kissing him in the Christmas episode. Who killed Toby's mom? I think it was Bethany, another patient at Radley, which is why Radley covered it up. I mean, they didn't want anyone questioning their supervision over the patient. Who is Black Veil and Red Coat? Okay, it's going to be a long explanation. Okay, so for Black Veil, I've never really figured out who it is. I haven't thought about it too much. Everyone says Black Veil is Endgame, but I just really haven't seen it. I've watched the Christmas episode, which Marlene said was one of the most important episodes. And what I got from it was that Jessica was Black Veil because in that future funeral scene, she was sort of in the Black Veil outfit. My other suspect would have to be Jenna. Jenna lost Shauna, which was her lover, which sort of makes her a widow in a way, I guess. Jenna's also been in the shadows for a while. For Redcoat, I have 3 suspects. Redcoat number 3 was basically confirmed as a right-hand man last night. So I think people that could be working with Charles are either Mona, Melissa, or Ezra. Hear me out, okay? For Mona, she's been awfully suspicious lately since she returned from the fake dead. Maybe Charles cut a deal with her like Mona tried to do with Spencer. That's the only thing I can see. For Melissa, since I'm assuming Charles is really Ren, I think Melissa could be his right-hand man because they're dating again. Maybe she's helping him out. She's so in love with him. And, some things that happened in London when Spencer was there for that college tour could only point to Melissa or Ren. And as for Ezra, I know. Everyone's gonna think this is crazy, but hear me out. I think Ezra knows a lot more than he lets on, and he's always overly concerned, which is making him shady this season. My theory, after Ezra stopped writing the book around seasons 2 to 3, Charles approached him after being so impressed by Ezra's research and offered him a lot of money, which Ezra was in need of if he finished the book. And I think in season 2, if I'm correct, he got like 50 grand. He said he sold his grandfather's car or something like that, but maybe it was actually from Charles. As Tanner said, Charles collects souvenirs from his victims, so a book would be the perfect way to remember like all of his sick accomplishments. Why did A write Allie as his favorite? I think it's easy for A to manipulate Allison. Like I said above, she's very vulnerable when she doesn't have the girls. And I also think Charles wants to protect her in a weird way because he's her brother. It also connects to Ezra. Allison called herself Ezra's favorite in the letter found in the Ravenswood lair. The photo's a little bit blurry, but I'll read you what the letter said in a minute. But oh my god, I can't. This is the letter, and I'll read you what the letter said. This was, I guess, in season 4 now. I've been account Ezra. I like screenshotted it of the photo. It says, "You're taking me away for my birthday, and all I can do is say yay, but you're better with words than with me. Seriously, I can't believe I met you in Rosewood. I thought I knew that town. Nothing but lies. It's best kept secret with you, but you're my secret now. My friends wouldn't understand. They want this to be their weekend, but I want to be the person who shows you the cape. You hate the ocean, but I can promise you'll like the view. What if that's if you're with me? Maybe we can take a few pictures too. One's worth like 100,000 words. Our imagination can take care of the rest for now. Your favorite, Allison." That's how she like signed the letter. And and that's sort of my connection to Ezra and Charles. And then you see, oh god, I'm trying to get this to focus. Is it gonna focus? Is it gonna focus? Probably not. But you know that card that Mona got in the dollhouse said, "Because you're my favorite, A," and that's when he gave her the gas mask. I just think Charles, that he's trying to protect Allison in, some creepy, sick way. And here is the last question. Sorry, it's been a really long video. Like, credit to you guys if you kept watching. Why does A have nothing better to do all day than cause people emotional, physical, and psychological pain? I really hope we find out in the finale because I want to know really bad too. So thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for asking me a bunch of questions. I hope you get a bunch of answers in the finale. I'm just excited as you guys are. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Bye!